Well, I originally came from Texas. I was born and raised there. And I think I may have mentioned this to you before. I grew up in Odessa High School, where the film Friday Night Lights was made, my high school, Permian High School. And I met my husband when he was stationed in the Air Force there. He's from Philadelphia. We went to the Philippines for 2 years and then came back to this area to live. Well, I can tell you, I raised my children here, and over the 28 years that I've been in elected office, plus the years I spent just being a homemaker and mother, I can't think of a better place to raise a family. I think the most important thing that happens in this town is that it is a true community. It's neighbors caring about neighbors, people helping you when you need help, people supporting each other when there are things that need to get done, and there's just a sense of real community here where everyone feels comfortable and part of this small town. I've spent some time thinking about this because, as you know, this is our 300th anniversary. And I have to say, I think part of the way our town operates is that it was founded under the Quaker tradition. And I just feel like people respect each other. I think they help each other. I think they are very proud of the way the town is. And so everyone is an important part of what happens here. Our schools are excellent. Our kids participate in things. The people in town support them in their efforts. And the fact that there are 60 service organizations in town, which gives everyone really an opportunity to pick some way that they can volunteer and give back to the town, and they do. We also have 10 different houses of worship here. So I think when you look at the entirety of Haddonfield, we've just about got it all. I first got involved when there was a recommendation of using the area now known as Crow's Woods, the soccer complex. A former mayor was interested in possibly building a composting site at that area. And the neighbors along Upland Way were not happy with the fact that there would be sanitation trucks passing their homes on a daily basis to bring the materials necessary to do this by their very nice homes. And so they kind of got together a group. I lived 1 block from there and was invited to attend a meeting. And I guess I just got bitten by the bug of civil discourse, civil getting together, with a group to question something. And after that was over, and the neighborhood did one, we did not build a composting site there. Someone suggested that I run for borough commissioner. The election was coming up. One of the things I started that I felt was very important was spending a day at the Borough Hall. In attending some of the meetings during that initial incident that got me involved in politics, I realized that people really needed a place to talk to the commissioners in town, not just a phone call, but to talk face to face. And that way you can really discuss what's going on, answer questions, solve problems before they turn into bigger problems. And so I was able to do a day at Borough Hall. And so every Wednesday for 26 years I sat in the office next door and welcomed people to come talk to me. Some people came with wonderful ideas which we worked on and made happen. Some people had minor problems that annoyed them that we were able to take care of. Some were bigger problems that took getting other people involved and making changes in the way we do things. But in my opinion, that is probably the most important thing that elected officials should do, is listen to their residents, get involved when you can, make changes when you need to, and certainly involve them in the process of what happens in their own community. I do. I think when you look around in 2013, where we live are small communities that surround us. Very difficult in a time like now to raise enough taxes to do the things we need to do, and you know, finances are tough. But this community is extraordinary, and what she gave us, and perhaps the Quaker faith had something to do with it, was to appreciate what a small community means, and to realize that it takes all of us, not just government, working together to make it that way. So I think her vision was good, and I think we've tried very hard to continue that. Well, I would hope, I've often said during this 300th celebration that I would love for Elizabeth Haddon to come back today, 300 years later, and say, you have been good stewards of our community. So I would like to say in another 100 years we should be able to say, you've been good stewards of this community. And that takes work. And it means sometimes people aren't happy about the laws that govern this town. They're not happy because they live in a historic home and there are certain rules and regulations that about how they maintain their homes. But I think when they look back and when they look around us now, they know that all of these laws and ordinances and visions have been for a good reason, and we should all be very proud of it. It was a privilege to serve in this town, and hopefully the residents are happy with my leadership, and I certainly was honored to be their leader.